Yes, sir, and we're back again with another episode of From Downtown. Today is March 2024, and we are here today to talk about college basketball, college baseball, as well as the start of the MLB season. So, looking forward to March Madness, and the NIT does start today. So if I didn't know LSU were playing tonight, I wouldn't know the NIT was starting. So the NIT is playing tonight. First four games I think are getting played tonight as well for the March Madness tournament, as well as teams trying to figure out where would they, playing game. So it's going to be like a seeding game tonight for Wagner and Howard, as well as Colorado State and Virginia. And then tomorrow it'll be Grambling and Montana State and Colorado and Boise State. So, like I said, we're going to hop straight into region by region now. I want to talk about what region do I really want to talk about? I want to talk about let's go Midwest. That's cool. The Midwest. Yeah, let's do the Midwest. Coming off the fact that the Midwest team the Midwest division, or the Midwest, what is it? The Midwest bracket is led by Purdue at the number one seed. Just looking at that, I feel like no matter who they play, Grambling either or Montana State, they kind of get past them because they have fucking length that no SWAC or what is fucking Montana State? Montana State like a Big Sky school. No SWAC or Big Sky school should be able to compete with that. Moving on from that, I feel like the top three teams in this bracket, or in this region of this bracket, will be Purdue, of course. It'll be Gonzaga, and then I would actually throw Tennessee over Creighton here because of the fact that Tennessee has Dalton Knecht very high on Dalton Knecht. I feel like he might be one of the best Caucasian wing scorers we have seen since like Doug McDermott, and it's crazy that he has to play Creighton. So those are the three teams that I feel like are, not necessarily powerhouses, but they just, they do enough to win. They always win. They just win. So I think that Tennessee could shock a lot of people if they can get past, I want to say, Texas, or if Texas can make it out the first round, because if Virginia wins tonight against Colorado State, I feel like that game against Texas will be very, very, very tough. I've seen Texas not be able to score efficiently, especially with teams that don't play really that great a defense. So it's like, if Virginia gets out there, Virginia could probably be in the Sweet 16 or the fucking Elite 8 by the time we look up at it and be like, how did Virginia get here? But I feel like Texas is a team that Virginia could beat. So, and moving on from that, like I said, the top three teams are Purdue, Gonzaga, Tennessee. But I think that I want to say this region is more Purdue's to lose than it is for anybody else to win. Kansas is here as well at out 4, but the way Kansas has been playing, like it's going to take a lot for me to get back into thinking that Kansas is going to be that team, like we said at the beginning of the year, beating UConn, or UConn playing Kansas in the fucking championship. Like we called this shit already. If you could go back to any of my earlier From Downtown videos where we talk about college basketball, which is fucking probably all of them. But it's like we knew from the beginning it was like UConn and Kansas were two teams on KenPom statistics wise, and also like just looking at the eye test, like passing the eye test of just having upperclassmen. Like you have a group full of upperclassmen kid who did it last year, did it before. It's starting to look to me like the Florida team. Not the same type of stars, of course. Like no Joe Kims, no Al Horfords, no Ronnie Brewers. Like shit like that. But it's like they do have a few coming off of this. Should be getting drafted this year. So looking at it, I think Kansas can shock the world as well here, but they're not going to be in my top 3 as who can do it. I just need them to be a little bit more consistent. I guess going into I don't know how they can be more consistent. They just got to show me. Put it simply, they have to show me. So, breaking down each game that we have: Purdue against Montana State and Grambling. We said that Purdue should move on. The next game is the 8-9 game, which is Utah State against TCU. I think here TCU actually makes a dent in Utah State incredible season. I don't think Utah State had a fucking season like this in a long time. So it's like I don't remember Utah State having less than 10 losses in a long time. So yeah, I think TCU pops that bubble though. It's a Big 12 team. Actually loves to score the ball, and I feel like they can shock the world. Gonzaga against McNeese 5-12. McNeese is a great team. Great team. Inside, they won't be able to compete. Only way they'll be able to stay on top or stay close is if their guard, the one who transferred in from, I want to say he left TCU or he left another school that made it to, he was like the only one on their team who fucking ever made a NCAA tournament, and that was last year. So, I can't believe he just ain't make that play. Georgia Tech is tripping. But I think Gonzaga beats McNeese. McNeese kind of got fucked over. I feel like they got screwed over by getting that high of a seed at 12. You're going up against a Gonzaga team that actually been playing better going into, the tournament or going to the March Madness. Ended up beating St. Mary's in the championship and kept cruising on along the way. So I feel like right now Gonzaga is not the team you want to go up against. If they were on the other side and they were able to play like St. Mary's at that 12, I would definitely take McNeese to probably win that game. But Gonzaga is just a blue blood. It's a team that we always expect to be there, a team that we always expect to at least make it to the Sweet 16, no matter who's on that damn court. Next game is the 4-13, which is Kansas against Samford. Like I said, Kansas is Samford can run teams out the gym with the way they score, but it'll take a lot for Kansas to lose this game. I'm talking about effectively shooting like 30% from the field, 30% from three. Like, you have to have a terrible game to lose this game because Samford is going to run, and I feel like they're going to put up at least 60 to 70 points. Just that's easy. But when you start getting into those higher games, those games where Kansas has to score 80, 90, 100. I don't remember seeing too many this season where Kansas actually did it. So I know for a fact Kansas has to lock in and just make sure that Samford doesn't run away with the game. But in my mind, I think Kansas wins. I don't really want to go away from it. Kansas is a 10-loss team right now. So of course they shouldn't be 4 to me. They should be like 5-6. But still a Big 12 team, still one of the best in the country. So I think Kansas win this game. Next is South Carolina at Oregon. Not at Oregon, but South Carolina versus Oregon. 8-11 game, a 6-11 game. And I think that South Carolina has been playing all right. Now that I think about the SEC tournament, I think they ended up losing to A&M. But it's hard for me. Did he just hit a grand slam? Oh, Georgia State just hit a fucking home run, 2-run home run against Georgia Tech. That's crazy work. But like I said, like South Carolina has been playing all right, but Oregon has been the most consistent team to me out of the Pac-12. You have Arizona and all of those people over there. So I'm not gonna say all of those people. You have Arizona, but Colorado. That's probably it. Nobody else is really ringing the bell on top of my head that I can be like, yeah, this is a great Pac-12. Like, that's a great Pac-12 school. No, it's only Arizona, and right now for me, it's like Oregon. The beginning of the season, Oregon State had some shit, but I don't know if it panned out for them. It didn't pan out as well for teams like USC and Stanford, but I think Oregon is the most consistent team over there. Like, they're 23-11, going up against a South Carolina team in which I feel like can play some great defense. But I don't know. I just like the way West Coast teams play. A lot of West Coast teams like to put up points. So I think that right now, playing against a hard-nosed SEC school that's going to lock you up and still try to put up points, I think that Oregon finds a way to beat South Carolina. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, South Carolina, not normally, here. I'm not going to say not normally. It's like, but it's sparingly. They just wasn't here last year or the year before that. So I think that Oregon can win this game. I'm not going to put it past them that they just get blowed out by South Carolina, but I do think it's going to be a close game, and I think Oregon can pull it off. Next game, 3-14, is Creighton against Akron. Creighton is the 3 seed right now. Like I said, top tier team. Akron, the Zips, play some great defense. Think they're like one of the best defensive teams in the nation. Like put up there with fucking Houston. So Creighton is going to have a tough time to score the ball. Hopefully Cal Brenner is there, doing the shit that they need to do to just stay valuable and stay a threat offensively. So yeah, that's the only thing they have to do against Akron, because Akron can also score the ball. They just play defense at such a high level. Like I said, I guess up there with Houston, Ken Palm wise and statistics wise. So I can't go against statistics and analytics, but it's like eye test wise, Creighton should definitely beat them. But Akron is a great defensive team, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Akron move on just off the fact that they play great defense, and they can score the ball at least. So it ain't that bad. Like they might be top 50, top 100 in scoring, but shit, that defense top 3, so it don't matter. Next game is the 7-10. Texas is playing either Virginia or Colorado State. We'll know later tonight. Like I said, depending on I don't want to talk about this one just yet because depending on the matchup, I really feel like Virginia is a team that's at 10 that could actually make it to the Sweet 16 Elite 8, because Texas is a team that can definitely shit the bed against a team like Virginia, where all they have is defense. Like defense. We not finna let you score 65 points. Like you have to beat us in the half court. We're gonna slow this shit down. Defense. We're gonna get to the line. We're gonna make you work for every bucket. And I don't feel like Texas is one of those teams. Texas is a team like shit. We gotta outrun you. And I don't want to say it like that, but it's like Texas has to find a way to beat Virginia. Look, the only way Texas moves on in my eyes is if Colorado State wins tonight, and we'll talk about that later. I'll probably go live for that playing games and shit, like not playing games, but the first 4 games and shit for later. And the last game is Tennessee at St. Peter's. St. Peter's, Cinderella story ass shit from last year. Made it all the way to the Elite 8. The year before that, it was recently though, but I feel like it kind of dies today. Not today, but the first round. St. Peter's, in my mind, wasn't supposed to make it here. I think that we had a lot more. Well, I had a lot more faith in. I don't. Was it the fact that I'm trying to think, like, how did they get to their tournament? Like, they beat Fairfield, of course, but it's like that MAC tournament. I'm trying to think of their seed. I think their seed was like 4th. They were like 4th in the MAC. So I don't know what they did to be able to to go on this stretch right now to where they can beat top teams like they did. Like they beat Siena, they beat Fairfield, they beat Iona. I want to say, like, these are schools that I thought were gonna make it. Like I thought they were getting an automatic bid. And I didn't think St. Michael's could do it again. But they showed me wrong, and I feel like that's the type of team right now rolling into March. That's a team that could really fuck up a lot of brackets, because it's like they're rolling so hard, and I ain't no pun intended. They're rolling so hard that they can like start an avalanche and like fuck around and beat best like top tier schools, because top tier schools kids already going to come in there thinking, it's going to be like a quick game. We can study film. We know all of these sets. Nah, that shit out the window now. We done ran the same play 30 times, but bitch, I bet you we own what you own. Like, you ain't gonna know what we doing when we get out here. So it's like, I think a lot of coaches really lock in when March Madness comes around. And St. Peter's has a coach who's been there, so I'm not gonna say he's not prepared. Basketball IQ gonna be the biggest thing about these games. So a lot of the teams with younger guards or younger rosters in general are really low this year, and I've realized that like a lot of the teams that's 1 through 5 have true upperclassmen that's been at least in the tournament before. So looking at that, we're gonna move on to other regions tomorrow when we talk smoke break with Hennessy. I mean with Moochie and Smoke. My bad. But it's like tomorrow I think we're gonna talk about the South region and as well as the West region, especially with those two. We can probably knock it out. But that's all we have today for March Madness, the frenzy of March Madness or whatever we call it. But we can keep going later with NBA basketball. We have a few games we can talk about, and some college baseball, as well as getting ready for this MLB opening day starting tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the fucking morning. So, thank y'all for listening to this March Madness episode, and I'll see you guys in a while.